What's up, dudes? There were some good moments in that jam. You know what I mean? But it takes guts to one take a jam just off the top of the head on YouTube. But old HW's out here doing it. That jam 7.1. This coffee, afternoon iced coffee, 8.4. 8.4, mic drop. 8.4, let's go. You know what I'm saying? V2 ToneX in his house. Here's a Dumble Watt Drive. HW, what's that? I don't Guitar is so fun, man. Guitar is just so good. H-Dub. H-Dub. What's going on with the new... You said there's a secret. ToneX has a secret they don't want us to know. Shh, they don't want us to know. Kind of, sort of. Let me tell you about the update. I got a bunch of emails this morning. HW, you going to be updating packs? HW, you going to be doing this? You going to be doing that? Is it really different? I had one guy comment on an older YouTube channel. He's like, is the V2 just fluff? Is it just like marketing lingo? It seems like they got all the influencers to jump out there today and do a thing. Are they just repackaging the same old ToneX tech? Is that it? Is it a dupe? Well, let me tell you this. I've been working with that amp right there. It's the Sine Wave Continuum Overdrive Pack. By the way, this is the Dumble Watt. It's at the link below. Okay, anyway, I couldn't remember if I plugged that or not. Sine Wave, been working on that. Official pack coming out from Tone Junkie with Chad from Sine Wave. We're doing an official pack of that amp and hopefully some more amps in the future. We got some stuff planned. But check this out right now. I started that amp on V1. And then all this V2 stuff started happening. And I had to call Chad and go, listen, man, it's going to take a little longer. They got this update and it's not out. Blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you the difference. V1 sounds just like the amp. V2 sounds just like the amp. Okay, if you're a person who has a ToneX and you are saying, oh man, I love my ToneX. But man, I got to hear this V2. And you turn on V2 and you go, it sounds way more like the amp. I don't think that's going to be your experience. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a bunch of sounds you like. You're going to hear the V2 stuff. You're going to go, I also really like this. It sounds like the amp. It sounds like the amp before. It sounded like it after. But I will tell you, having an amp doing the A and B, if you were already probably on advanced or maybe standard for more of the clean stuff, you're not going to like just load something and go, that's definitely a V2. It's not anything like that. But what I noticed from that amp is this V2 has a little more like breath and just like clear air or something. And what I mean is, it's very difficult to tell if it's the amp or the pedal when you're hearing it. And when you play a chord, the notes sort of get cleaner before they decay in volume. Like they get cleaner because the gain falls and the amp sort of regains its headroom. And what I notice is you get more of that. And that's like a very like analog amp quality that I think is, just it's in there. But I haven't heard anyone say this either. I don't know what okay, they were able to optimize the training times. Obviously, stuff is now in phase. It's all going to be in phase with each other, which is a big deal if you're using two. I had stuff before that was in phase with other stuff, and then other stuff that was out of phase with it. Like I'd have some amps that were in phase over here, and then some amps in phase they weren't in phase with each other. I could never figure out quite how to get that to work because the amps from you're dealing with distance and stuff, and with the microphones and everything. All that stuff you're going to notice, but really a lot of these improvements was for people like me or people who are creating stuff. That could be people at home too. But if you're just a person who buys a ToneX, they go and grab some captures from Amalgam, Tone Junkie, Signal Theory, whatever, you're going to notice it still sounds really great, and you're probably not going to notice anything at all. It's just going to sound good, and you're going to probably get more amps and stuff. For someone like me, this is actually a huge change. It really changes probably my life, to be honest with you. ToneX is by far the most time-consuming thing that I'm doing, and it's actually making all the releases at Tone Junkie go much slower than I would like them to go, because when you're training all this stuff, it's you have to be there when it ends and put in the number, the tags and everything, and then it's going to take so long. And I was using a slower computer before. Then I bought a newer computer. Haven't heard anyone point this out. This new software they released, it works on the Blackwell architecture NVIDIA chips, which means all the newer chips, the 5000, 6000 series, it works on all that stuff. So when I first bought my new laptop to train ToneX stuff, I tried to get it. I couldn't get it to work. It didn't work. But they fixed that now. So I'm like stoked that we're gonna get I'm gonna be able to get just way faster training times, and so in that way it's a big update. The accuracy is improving, but of course there's diminishing returns. But if you want to create an amp, or if you want to make a tone model, from your amp, this is really a big update for that process. And I think it really is going further to like democratize sound and everything. It's making it very easy, very simple to do, especially if you don't want to be loud for very long. The software looks amazing. A bunch of guys have done big walkthroughs of it, and they've done a better job than I would do on a video like that. So that's why you're not seeing it. But what's the secret? What's the secret? Is it a sham? Is it a dupe? It's not a sham. It's not a dupe. There really is a difference. In a vacuum, I don't know if you're going to notice it, like just listening, like here's an AC30 V2 and an AC30 that wasn't V2 that was made 6 months ago. I don't think you're going to notice it like that. If it were A-B'd, you probably would be able to notice it like I did with the sine wave. Unfortunately, I trashed all the old V1s. I guess I could have released those, but just for my own, record keeping, I didn't want to. There's nowhere that said V2 on the new one, so I didn't know how to tell them apart, and I wanted to name them the same thing. But you're going to hear all that. The secret here, I think that they're really letting out of the bag, is that ToneX is really nodding its hat here to a truth that's happening now in the guitar market. And I'm going to make a couple predictions. One, I think this ToneX is going to end up releasing an entire platform of stuff, and I don't think we're ever going to see a ToneX 2. Why don't I think that? I don't think we're ever going to see a ToneX 2 because I don't think you'd ever need a ToneX 2. Now, you might see some sort of ToneX XL, not Excel like the spreadsheet. That could be cool too. But I think you're going to see something like a ToneX XL, which might have more effects, maybe a larger board for the ground, ToneX floor, something like that. You might see that sort of thing. But in terms of the capture tech and the playback units, the player units, the ToneX 1 and the ToneX, look what just happened. They just made all captures now more accurate than advanced, and it's faster to train on all machines and supports even faster machines than previous. And that little $160 pedal still plays it. It still does it. ToneX really did just get better in the sense of this now, I think, to me, it shows, it puts them on a trajectory of we can make updates in the future. We can even make, like, who knows, the next update might be, hey, your fuzzes will now sound even more spitty and have even more this or that. This really, to me, puts modelers now in two camps. Do you train on the unit or do you train off the unit? That's just an opinion. Do you train on the unit or do you train off the unit? If you train off the unit, if you train on the unit, you're locked into the hardware you ship. And the trouble with that is this. If you're a larger company, you don't always want to do the thing that like Axe did, which is, all right, we started releasing something and then boom, here's the turbo version or the plus version or something. And then it has like slightly more DSP, because then you have some people in the community with a slightly faster unit. They make stuff or they recommend stuff, or then you start making new effects and things. And you have to decide, am I going to make it for this larger DSP unit or the slower one? And you have people who get upset. And then sometimes, like in the case of Axe, they change the whole like architecture, and all of a sudden a bunch of presets that used to not max out the machine now max out the machine, which is nuts to me. Nuts that an update can all of a sudden like break your rig. So anyway, ToneX is really showing that the tech is really in the software, in the capture technology. They can make it better and better. They can make it faster and faster. And the hardware units, why would they go obsolete? The hardware unit, the 160 ToneX 1, it doesn't know whether the model it's playing sounds exactly like the Vox or doesn't. It doesn't know. It doesn't know if the tone model when it's created nailed the sound of the Vox or didn't. It's just playing it back. And so by being able to make such a big improvement in terms of accuracy, and I say big improvement because they got all the times down, it's optimized, and it's more advanced, it's more accurate than advanced, which was already super accurate. They didn't need a new pedal to do it. They didn't need new hardware. And I bet that trend will continue. In fact, I know that trend will continue. I don't think we see obsolescence on the ToneXs that are in our hands. We probably just see new features, new models. The secret is new models will have to do other things. So I'm saying I don't think we're ever going to get a ToneX 2. There's no, next gen this or whatever. It's just they're going to be able to update the software, and if you needed a converter for some sort of backwards compatibility, I guess they could do that, but it sounds like we don't need it. It sounds like the limit is not in the hardware at all. It kind of in the same way that it's like, I was going to liken it to like having an older laptop and it still plays stuff. And it is kind of like that. You know what I mean? It's like they've said that this is working and this, I don't know, the analogy fell apart. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is a great update. You're going to see new stuff, but I have a question for you, the community. I'm not sure what I want to do in terms of the older ToneX stuff I've made. I kind of go back and forth, like, let me update some of it. Maybe I will with a couple amps, but honestly, you guys, the stuff, especially that was done on Advanced, it sounds like the amp. I'm not even, and the risk you run with like just retraining everything is that if you reset it up the exact same way, you kind of run the risk of like, well, maybe a tube sounded better earlier or a speaker starts to go out. Like maybe the magic was just there. I've had this happen where you can't recreate an exact sound from an amp and the same mics and everything, and who knows why. But what do you guys want to see? People like Tone Junkie and Amalgam and Signal Theory, what do you want to see? Do you want to see all new V2 stuff? I'm kind of tempted to just go, all my stuff from here forward is V2. Maybe I'll go back and revisit a couple things, but stuff I was already starting to work on and I had to just put away was the 3 train wrecks, the whole train wrecks, the train wreck collection, I'm calling it. This entire Fender collection was being started for ToneX, and then I got word, hey, hang on a minute, we got something coming up. And the sine wave. So I've sort of been sitting on my hands, like partially done with all of these. So I'm really excited to get back to work on all that, especially because I like to see stuff come out and it actually work and it doesn't like brick half the people's machines or something. Hey, call me crazy, but I've seen it happen. I've been HW. This new update is legit awesome.